Born on April 12, 1942, in KwaZulu-Natal near Nkandla, Jacob Zuma was raised by his mother after losing his policeman father early. His upbringing was marked by poverty, illiteracy, and resilience. Zuma never received formal schooling. He herded cattle as a boy, then worked as a domestic laborer in Durban to support his family. Yet, by the age of 17, he had already joined the African National Congress, ANC. By the 1960s, Zuma had become a member of Umkhonto we Sizwe, the ANC's armed wing. In 1963, he was arrested and sentenced to 10 years on Robben Island, where he shared prison cells with Nelson Mandela. From prisoner to peacemaker, Zuma spent years in exile in Mozambique, Zambia, and Swaziland. He was integral to ANC intelligence, and by the 1990s, he emerged as one of the party's key negotiators during South Africa's transition to democracy. In 1999, Zuma became deputy president of South Africa under Thabo Mbeki, but in the shadows of power, corruption would soon swirl. In the late 1990s, the South African government signed a 30 billion rand arms deal to modernize its military. But behind the contracts and fighter jets lay a toxic cocktail of bribes, offshore accounts, and political manipulation. Zuma's longtime financial advisor, Schabir Shaik, was caught making 783 illegal payments to Zuma, totaling millions. These were allegedly tied to a deal with Thales, the French arms firm. But there's more. Buried deeper in the procurement contracts, the Hypatia investment network, a suspected front involving shell companies, surfaced as part of the fund's pipeline. The Hypatia link remains one of the most opaque arms deal vehicles, believed to funnel commissions from Europe into local ANC-aligned business elites. Shaik was convicted in 2005, sparking Zuma's dismissal as deputy president. Yet the charges against Zuma were withdrawn before the 2009 election, fueling widespread allegations of political interference. Zuma would later be recharged, and in 2021, he formally pleaded not guilty to fraud, racketeering, and corruption. As of 2025, that trial remains ongoing, delayed by legal appeals, but the evidence remains damning. Back in power as president from 2009, Zuma oversaw ambitious infrastructure plans, but also extravagant personal enrichment. At the center of scandal was his Nkandla estate. What began as basic renovations turned into a 246 million rand taxpayer-funded mansion with a swimming pool, amphitheater, cattle kraal, and even a fire pool masquerading as a security feature. In 2014, public protector Thuli Madonsela found Zuma had violated the Constitution. In 2016, the Constitutional Court ruled that Zuma failed to uphold his oath of office. This wasn't just an ethics issue. It was a national humiliation. Millions watched as Zuma, who once fought for justice, now stood as a symbol of elite impunity. But the Nkandla scandal paled in comparison to the tentacles of what became known as state capture. Enter the Gupta brothers, Ajay, Atul, and Rajesh, Indian-born businessmen with deep ANC ties. The Guptas ran a business empire ranging from mining to media, but their most powerful asset was their friendship with Zuma. They allegedly offered cabinet positions, secured state contracts worth billions, and even influenced ministerial appointments. One minister admitted being told his job was gone before he was officially fired, by the Guptas themselves. They secured control over Eskom, Transnet, SABC, and other state-owned giants. Bribes were paid through front companies, shell accounts, and luxury gifts, including Gupta-sponsored weddings and international flights. Zuma's son, Duduzan Zuma, became a key figure, directly working for Gupta-owned businesses, enriching himself while the nation bled. The Gupta's grip on South Africa triggered massive public outrage. In 2016, Public Protector Madonsela released her State of Capture report, recommending a full judicial inquiry. In 2018, Zuma established the Zondo Commission, perhaps thinking it would never fully investigate him. He was wrong. Over 3 years, the commission heard testimony from over 300 witnesses. It exposed Bosasa bribes, nuclear deals with Russia, tender fraud, Gupta media propaganda, and the hollowing out of state capacity. Zuma refused to appear before the commission. In June 2021, the Constitutional Court sentenced him to 15 months for contempt of court, marking the first time in democratic South African history that a former president was jailed. Zuma's arrest triggered the July 2021 unrest, South Africa's most violent period since apartheid. KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng burned, malls looted, warehouses destroyed. Over 300 people were killed. The uprising was allegedly coordinated with trucks torched, highways blocked, and intelligence networks disrupted. Some called it an attempted insurrection. Zuma was granted medical parole, later ruled unlawful, but President Ramaphosa ultimately commuted his sentence under special remission in 2023. The country still debates whether it was justice or compromise. In 2023, Zuma returned to the political spotlight by launching the Umkhonto we Sizwe Party, MK, a direct challenge to the ANC. Though barred from contesting the 2024 elections due to his conviction, Zuma used MK to siphon support from the ANC, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal, where his influence remains legendary. The Electoral Commission's decision to disqualify him sparked public debate. Was Zuma being persecuted or held accountable? MK gained significant regional traction. Analysts say it marked the most serious internal split in the ANC since its unbanning in 1990. Jacob Zuma's life reads like a Shakespearean tragedy, from peasant to president, from prison to palace, from liberator to litigant. His legacy is etched in contradictions. A man who fought apartheid but presided over corruption. A father of freedom turned father of factionalism. A populist hero whose followers torched cities in his name. As of August 2025, Zuma remains alive, active, and under trial. His legal team continues to fight the arms deal case. But for many South Africans, the damage, economic, institutional, and moral, has already been done. This is the story of Jacob Zuma, a man who changed South Africa for better and for worse.